What's up, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the Pokemon 2022 World Championship website with the event coming up so close. I know a lot of my content has been centered around it, but today I just wanted to talk about the website because it's actually got a lot of really cool things on it, and I wanted to highlight it. So I'm going to leave the link to this website in the description below. It's worlds.pokemon.com. It's basically like the hub for everything you need to know about the World Championships as you get closer to the event. Now let's go through it and see what's going on. This is the logo. This is everything you need, blah, blah, blah. This is the World Championships, the pinnacle of competitive play. This August for the Pokemon World Championships will make their long-anticipated return. I have been anticipating it, yes. For the first time in history, the big event will be held outside of North America when London, England hosts competition from August 18th to 21st, 2022. The event will include competitions for the Pokemon TCG, the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, Pokemon Go, Unite, and Pokken DX. So we will have 5 games this year at the World Championships, as you know, and you can click here for the info. We're going to go through all the tabs individually, so you don't have to worry about that right now. You can see the little pop-ups coming through. There are a news tab to talk about what's happening. We've seen the Roserade and the Pikachu plushie that are coming to the store. We have a Meet the Players tab, which is something that I have missed so much. There used to be a Meet the Players tab every year, where you could see which players qualified from which country or which region. You can see the when and where with the schedule as well. So if you're at home trying to figure out what time and what days you want to watch certain things, you can find that right here. So yeah, let's jump into it. Let's go to the About. What is Worlds? It's a yearly tournament to determine the best players in the world. Very simple. Held over several days in different locations, World showcases the top Pokemon game competition across multiple tournaments. Go joins at 2022. This is Pokken's last tournament as well. Unite will have their first Worlds as well this year. London will hold it for the first time outside of America. 4 days. There's a bunch of drawing, arts and crafts, a bunch of stuff you can do that are Pokemon related at the event. There will be a gallery for... Oh, that's cool, actually. A gallery featuring works from the recent Pokemon TCG illustration contest will be open for visitors. And fans will get a peek at the first cards from the upcoming TCG Scarlet and Violet series. Leave right now in the description below what you think the new mechanic is going to be. All we know is Terrastalize is the thing for VGC, or the video game. So check, give me a guess in the predictions in the comments below. We'll know at the opening ceremony, which I will be filming and being in attendance because I love the opening ceremony. There'll be a Pokemon Center in London, as always. It'll have the world's exclusive product. And right now it looks like they're doing a virtual queue, and the initial queue or whatever has kind of disappeared, or the registration has disappeared from the websites as a whole. So I'm assuming what this means is just that show up, put your name in a queue, or show up and wait in line, basically. There's a global community. Obviously, everyone will be there from the world, and big prizes in store. Over $1 million to be won. And the history of Worlds is something that I am very excited to see. This is a mesh of all of the logos till now, since 2004, I believe. So I'm going to go through them individually and talk about a little bit of memories that I have from each one and what I know about each one as we go. There's the Meet the Players tab. It takes us back there. So let's look at the schedule. Thursday will be our kickoff. The opening ceremony will start at 9 a.m. London Central Time. I don't know. Yeah, London Central Time. Yep. 30-minute opening ceremony. Usually it bleeds a little bit longer, given people cheering, etc. There's a 15 to 20-minute buffer, and then Swiss will kick off for the day. Unite will be having a media day, which I assume is pictures and stuff like that. And then we will have last chance qualifiers for both Pokken and Go. And then VGC and TCG will kick off the day 1 tournament with, all these players playing their first rounds. It has time slotted for 8 rounds of TCG on day 1 and 9 rounds of VGC on day 1, which I'm sure they won't hit those numbers, but I think they've put aside the time for those numbers because that's what they want to hit. That's their goal, is what they're indicating with this number. And then Friday will be the day that I compete. If you guys are fans of me, hopefully you guys can cheer me on. It'll be a very stressful Friday. That's a week from this Friday. Wow, it's a week from this Friday. Holy moly. Oh my God. Unite pools will be happening. The groups Go and Pokken will have their main event. And then we will be beginning our Swiss rounds as well. Looks like Pokken is literally going to finish on Friday with awards and master finals and everything by 6 o'clock, which is crazy because they don't even get a main stage. They get a side stage. But yeah, we have 9 rounds allotted, as well as VGC having 9 rounds allotted for this day. And then we move into Saturday, which would be your Unite top 8, your main event for Go, into the finish, into the Unite for finish, And then for VGC and TCG, we will play our asymmetric cut to kick off the morning into our top cut games. It looks like every single top cut game is intending on being streamed, all the way down to top 4B. And then we go into Sunday, which will have finals, juniors, seniors, masters. TCG goes first, and then VGC goes second. Juniors, seniors, masters. We got a little bit of a buffer, and then they're going to set up for the closing ceremony, where we'll have all the finalists come up on stage, a little bit of a trophy ceremony for them, as well as a announcement about where we're going to go next year. You can hit this watch tab to see how to watch, which they are updating right now. You can see the schedule. They should have all of the casters and stuff on here soon. Yeah, there's a news tab, which I think is probably pertinent to you if you're heading to the tournament. Yeah. History of Worlds. Now, this is something that I've been very passionate about. This is something that I'm going to eventually sit down and make a big, long video series. Not a series itself, but like a docu-series, long-form essay content. This is something that's going to be in the works for a while. I need to kick it off after Worlds and sit down and start doing the research, where I want to get every single year of competitive Pokemon, talk about the format, talk about what decks did well, talk about what players did well, and do like a very deep dive into the history of the game, because there's a lot of the era that has been like lost to not having online presence as a community. But I know there are groups out there, and I know there are communities out there that have been accumulating this information. So it could be very helpful for me to go find those storylines, find those important things. Like maybe one of your favorite players today was playing back in 2004. Maybe one of your favorite players started the game in 2008. Like maybe they have another history, a historical moment, another benchmark in their history. Like this is something that I really like in terms of following a storyline of a game or competitive of any nature, because there are humans behind the game. And that's what I like to emphasize. So before 2004, by the way, Wizards of the Coast used to run tournaments, and I remember there was a Worlds that was on a cruise liner. Ross Cawthon talks about it frequently. Fun fact, right now, who is the only player who has qualified for every single World Championship? Only one player has qualified for every single World Championship. You guys get 5 seconds to put it in the comments. Go. All right, that's all you guys get. The answer is Ross Cawthon. I just named him, and that came to the top of my mind. Ross Cawthon is the only player to qualify for every World Championship, despite some of the other players getting very, very close. In 2004, we were in Orlando, Florida. Very basic theme. This is when Pokemon got picked up by Nintendo. We were doing, Orlando, and then we went to San Diego the next year. I think for the first couple of years, also all of these were done in ballrooms and not like a big convention center hall. Like these were done in like a ballroom hall at like a hotel, more or less. 06 we went to Anaheim. I really like Anaheim. In 07 we went to Hawaii. This is one of my more, like, I like all of the Hawaii logos, I think, but this is one of my more ones that I liked a little bit more than the others. And then we went to 2008 was also Hawaii, and this was the first year that we had a video game, I believe. So 08 was the first year the video game joined our competition circuit, and this was one of the, 08 was Orlando, sorry. Yeah. And then 09 was San Diego, with Platinum being the TCG card game. 09 was was San Diego. 2010 was the Hawaii again. And this was one of my favorite logos of all time, just because of how cute it looks. And this was the resurgence of Heart Gold Soul Silver. And this is when I made my competitive return to the game. Or like not competitive, but like this is when I started watching or paying attention to the game again, because in 2010, one of my locals, Michael Pramawat, ended up getting... No. Yes? Was 2010 Pram? I don't know. Someone did really well. And I basically like got back into the game because I really wanted to see what competition was all about. And this was like a cool year for me. So 2011 was my first year, quote unquote, competing. I started on states. I went to 2 states at regionals and nationals, and I finished 43rd when ELO was top 40 back then. So only top 40 got their Worlds invite, and I got 43rd, which really sucked. It was my only year as a senior as well. Yeah. This is my favorite logo by far because of nostalgia, as well as how sick it looks in San Diego. I really like the Skater Pikachu theme with like everyone just being like, I don't know. This just looks. I really like this like wall art kind of design a lot. I have a playmat of it somewhere. It's like really beaten up because I used it for like a good like 8 years. Yeah. 2012 we went back to Hawaii with black and white kicking things off. I ended up not qualifying this year either because I didn't play too much. But I ended up wanting to go because a family friend of ours, they got second in VGC at Nats or first at Nats or something, and they got the trip. And so I wanted to get my dad to send me with their family, but my dad was like, you're going to be intruding on their family vacation. I was like, yeah, he's probably right. 2013 was Vancouver. It was my first World Championships that I attended. And to be completely honest, at the opening ceremony this year, I didn't qualify. I played through the last chance qualifier. I made it to the top 32 of the last chance qualifier. And that year, watching the opening ceremony, I wanted nothing more from that moment to compete on the world stage, to be on that stage with everyone and compete and fight for that glory, fight for everything, like put everything on the line basically to show that I am the best at something. And that was like a turning point for me and like what I wanted to do with the game. And then 2014 was Washington, D.C., which was really funny because it's like my hometown, where I grew up, where I live. I don't live in D.C., I live like 20 minutes out, but like same thing. But I didn't qualify because that was my senior year and I was busy with like college applications and SATs and all that stuff in college and high school. And went to play in the LCQ, and I knew I couldn't play in Worlds or anything. I didn't qualify. I left for college like that Friday night. So I spent time with everybody and then I left. Boston was 2015. It was one of the only Worlds in modern history I've missed. I didn't qualify. This is the first year I tried to qualify and I didn't. And it was a really humbling experience because I knew how bad I actually was. I needed to get better as a player and I couldn't qualify for Worlds that year. I just didn't make it. I was like 40 points short, which is no excuse still. 2016 was my first World Championships that I qualified for in San Francisco, California. It's a very cute theme. I really like the little trolley cars and everything. I have all my merch from that year. I bought everything that year because I qualified. It was my first World, so it meant a lot to me. 2017 was Anaheim, California. One of my favorite venues by far that I've been to. Location is beautiful. Weather was beautiful. Tournament did not go great for me. 2018 was Nashville, Tennessee, the only World Championship to have its own theme song. Nashville is a very weird location to put it in, but I mean, I think everyone was happy once we were there. I finished 13th at this year's World Championships, making it my best accomplishment across the board. 13th at Worlds is nothing to scoff at, but obviously I didn't have a shot at top 8 because I started 0-2 in that tournament. So nothing really I could do about that one, but I rallied it back to a 13th place finish, which is still something to be happy about. And then 2019, Go made its first international event, or invitational event, and we were in Washington, D.C. once again. I hopped on the metro, took a 30-minute train ride in, and I was chilling. Finished 30th place at this year's World Championships. And yeah, now we're going to London. So the journey has been long. The World Championships are very historied. And one thing I really want to do is dig into all of the top players, the top 32s, storylines going into that Worlds, people from nationals. I don't know. I want to do like a crazy extensive video essay. So if you guys have information that you want to volunteer help me out with, please feel free to. I know it will go a long way. I'm going to start compiling stuff after Worlds when I have a little bit more free time before the season kicks off again. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys enjoy Worlds. I hope you guys are as passionate about Worlds and Pokemon as I am. I know this is becoming like I'm dragging this on and on for content or something. No, I just really love Worlds, guys. Like, yeah. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week when I compete for Worlds.